Hello friends, welcome to Chini World. Today I am going to explain you a short drama film called The Carmen Line. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The protagonist of the movie is a middle-aged housewife named Sarah. She lives with her teenage daughter Carly and her husband Dave. One afternoon Sarah is in a delightful mood. She is blasting a romantic song on the radio and is dancing around the house. At the same time, Carly returns home from school and is in a seemingly bad mood. She takes off her dirty shoes and carelessly tosses them away. Her mother tries to lighten her mood by dancing and singing around her, but she doesn't acknowledge it, and rather finds it annoying. Sarah follows her to the kitchen while still dancing, but Carly simply turns the radio's volume down and takes the dinner plate from the counter. It is evident that Carly doesn't appreciate her mother's efforts and takes her for granted. Sarah, however, doesn't seem to mind her daughter's indifference. She simply turns the volume back up and checks Carly's bag to see if she has eaten all her food. Sarah then finds a test paper inside her bag that has very bad grades. Although it is only a mock test, she urges her daughter to do better. Carly, again, ignores her, which has become sort of a routine in the household. When Sarah asks for an answer, she simply walks away to her room. Moments later, Sarah picks up her drink from the living room's coffee table, but it drops from her hand. She starts to panic and yells for help as her feet begin to move on their own. Carly hears her cry and quickly runs downstairs to see her mother is levitating off the ground. She is too stunned to speak. In the following scene, three men are trying to bring Sarah back to the ground. One of them is her husband Dave. He holds her hand for emotional support as the other two guys pull Sarah down. They try their best but do not succeed. It is almost as if they are working against a mysterious force that is keeping her afloat. No matter how much they try, she doesn't budge from her place. Carly watches them from the door, not being able to comprehend what is going on. The men leave a while later, but Sarah keeps levitating. Dave then calls their family doctor, Dr. Beringer, to inspect the situation. He measures the distance she has elevated from the ground and finds out that she is going higher over time. This worries the entire family. Even the doctor does not have an answer as to how it is possible. He simply takes her blood sample to study it and hopefully find out why gravity has stopped working on her. He also promises to send in a consultant, Dr. Benham, who can potentially help her. The husband asks him how long it will take, but the doctor assures them that since Sarah is healthy, there are all the reasons to believe she will be better in no time. Starting that day, Sarah cannot move around and keeps on flying upwards. In only one day, she stands taller than her husband. Dave buys a bedpan to help her defecate, but their hopes of her getting better are fading with time. Since she cannot move from the room, the father and daughter redecorate it to fit her needs and keep her entertained. Soon, Sarah's sisters also come to her house to help her with life. It is almost as if she is bedridden and needs people to take care of her. They clean up after her every day. Eventually, they start needing a ladder to reach her. Dr. Beringer visits regularly to check up on Sarah and measure how much she has elevated since the last time. He keeps track of the maths and finds out that she is being pulled up at a higher rate as time passes by. To stop this, he makes her wear a belt with weights inside of it so the weights would decrease the rate of elevation. However, this doesn't help Sarah's case and she almost reaches the ceiling. Dave starts getting frustrated seeing no results out of the doctor's experiments. At night, Sarah starts wrapping a blanket around herself while sleeping on air. Dave loves his wife dearly and makes sure to be with her all the time. He has shifted from the bedroom to the living room to be with her at night in case she needs anything. Sarah's consultant, Dr. Mary Benham, only arrives after a week. By the time Sarah is on the ceiling, struggling to go further up, the doctor introduces herself and reaches out to shake her hand. She apologizes for not getting there sooner and inquires how they are coping with the situation. Dave jokes and says that the ceiling is not a convenient place to keep a wife. For some reason, the doctor doesn't seem to be surprised by Sarah's condition. She simply brings out a measuring tape and measures the distance between her and the floor. Dave offers the doctor a cup of tea and sends Carly to make it. Without Sarah's help, the kitchen is a complete mess. Carly brings out a dirty mug from the sink and simply rinses it before pouring tea in it and handing it to the doctor. After realizing the severeness of Sarah's condition, the doctors demeanor changes. The family had been waiting for her to come and miraculously cure Sarah. But they soon realize that she, too, has no idea what the problem is. The doctor bluntly tells the family that their case is unique, so nothing is certain. From what the doctors have seen and studied, Sarah will continue to move upwards at a variable but increasing rate. Dave hesitantly asks the doctor if she can bring Sarah down, to which she apologizes and says she can't. The weights will slow her process, but if she carries more of it, it will injure her. Their best bet is to wait for the condition to go away on its own. In about 10 weeks, Sarah will reach a height of 12,000 feet. From there, she will need oxygen to survive. Even after that, she will still keep rising upwards, and they will have to keep her warm and control her diet. Sarah finally comes to the conclusion that she cannot be saved. The family also acknowledges she is going to rise to the sky until her inevitable death. Carly comments that her mother is going into orbit. Dave loses patience and demands the doctor to do something, but she says she can only do the best to keep her comfortable, but there is no known way to save her. At night, Dave cuts the floor around Sarah's head to let her fly up. He is aggressive while cutting it and almost hurts her. As the dust falls on the poor woman, she calls for her daughter for help. However, Carly entirely ignores her mother's pleas and turns the tap on to not hear her. Eventually, Dave completes making the hole and holds his wife's hand. Sarah's head is now inside Carly's room. She is clearly bothered by her mother invading her privacy, although she has no control over it. The following day, Carly is studying for her final exams as Sarah watches her in silence. She has to pee but doesn't want to disturb her daughter. Sometime later, she apologizes and asks Carly to call her father. Carly simply brings the bedpan and helps her. Following that, she sits back to study but cannot focus with her mother in the room. Carly tells her that she cannot take the exams this year because of the situation, but Sarah lashes out at her. She doesn't want to be a drawback in her daughter's life. Some days later is Dave and Sarah's anniversary. They have invited Sarah's sister to dress her up for the occasion. Dave compliments her, saying that she looks like an angel, and the two laugh at the irony. Even at the time of crisis, the couple celebrates and drinks together. Dave gets on a table and kisses her. Eventually, the two have intercourse. When Carly returns home from school one day, she hears her mother moaning in pain. It turns out that Dave has tied her leg to the ground to keep her from flying away, which is really painful for her. He sits on the door, not being able to watch his wife whimper in misery. Carly quickly runs upstairs and gets a knife to cut the rope. In the following scene, Sarah has reached outside the house. Dave and Carly reach her using a crane to hand her food and supplies. This is probably the last time they are going to see her, so they pack her with enough food, oxygen, and water for her journey to the sky. Carly hands her a phone and a battery to call home when needed. She has also brought a music player so Sarah can't listen to all her favorite songs when she gets bored. Following that, she is made to wear a heavy backpack so she would elevate at a slower speed. As the daughter hands her the rations, Dave stays quiet and only watches them. Before leaving, he hugs his wife tightly, knowing that she is never coming back. The family shares a tearful goodbye. The next day, we see Sarah way high up in the sky. She is hardly visible from the ground. To pass time, she is invested in a crossword puzzle. Suddenly, a drop of water falls on her book. As she wipes it away, it starts to drizzle. She takes off her hat and wears the hood of her jacket to keep warm. Some more days later, Sarah uses binoculars to look down at the earth. She brings out a packet of biscuits that Carly had given her and sees that she is almost out of them. She calls Carly and asks her what she is cooking for herself. Without her mother, she has started to eat baked beans and toast every day. Sarah worries about her and tells her to eat well-cooked food, but Carly is clearly not interested in talking. She answers in single words, mostly because it is overwhelming to talk to her mother. Knowing that she will die one of these days, Sarah apologizes for disturbing her and claims that she misses her, but Carly hangs up the call before she can finish. Sarah gets emotional after the call, so she brings out her music player to help her calm down. But to her misfortune, she accidentally drops it. For some seconds, she loses her calm and screams in frustration. Her screams invite a flock of birds towards her, which instantly cheers her mood. She waves her hands around happily in Between them, Dave misses his wife dearly and resorts to alcoholism to get rid of the pain. One night, it starts to rain heavily. Although Sarah is wearing thick clothes, they are not enough to keep her warm. She misses her family but can do nothing about it. She somehow survives the night, holding herself to keep warm. The following day, she reaches higher in the sky and now requires an oxygen mask to survive. She removes the mask and calls her husband. Dave runs to the phone and asks her if she is doing well. Carly also comes running worried about her mother. Sarah tells Carly that even if she fails her exams, she is very proud of her and will always love her. Dave repeatedly asks her to put the oxygen mask back on, but she refuses. Instead, she asks them to stand away from the hole in the ceiling. Seconds later, a bag falls through it. The two register that Sarah has decided to stop holding on to her life. Carly falls to the floor and hugs the bag, begging for her mother to return. As the sun rises, Sarah flies faster into the sky. With a smile on her face, she tells her husband that she loves him and puts the phone down. A while later, the phone falls through the ceiling. The father and the daughter hold each other and cry, mourning Sarah's death. It is now a few weeks after the incident. The family has repaired the ceiling. Carly prepares tea and breakfast for both of them and studies hard for her finals. Dave notices a change in her behavior after Sarah's death. The movie ends as they eat the meal in silence. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos.